Hey everybody, welcome to Grounded in the Garden, a year of gardening with me, Rose. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. What I do is I teach you different tips and tricks and gardening activities as I work in my yard so that you can learn what to do in your yards at the specific times of year. If this is not your first time here, thank you for coming back. I truly appreciate you, and I'm glad that you're learning some things that are helpful to you in your garden. Would you like to minimize your weeding and digging activities and spend more time doing the things you love outside, like planting new plants and transplanting them and just enjoying the beauty of the outdoors? Well, stick around because I have 3 ways for you to create new garden beds without a lot of work or digging. So are you ready? Here we go. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make a very easy, no-dig lasagna layered type of garden bed. It's very easy, and we use whatever we have. So, the first thing I did was I took an electrical cord to define my space here. Now, normally you would take some spray paint and spray a line where you would like it, or you could take a rope or a garden hose, but I couldn't find either one of those at the last minute, so I grabbed this electrical cord and it works just fine. So we're going around the corner of a house, almost straight across. We will curve it at the end after the bed is established, but that's what we're doing for now. So the first thing is, we're going to lay these wet newspapers, which are about 4 sheets thick, right on top of the grass. And what this will do is basically create somewhat of a compost pile. So we have a brown layer, which is the soil, and then we have a green layer, which is the grass. Now we're putting down what I consider a brown layer newspaper, which is made from the pulp of wood and rice, and I'm not sure what else, but it's basically an organic material. If we did not wet these, they would be blowing all over the place. Now, if I didn't have newspapers, a lot of people don't have them these days, I could use cardboard. Just make sure there's no tape on it, or labels, which we have here. I'm going to take those off as best as we can. I would want to wet that too. Or I could use paper bags. So the idea is to use what you have to fit the category. So we're figuring out our brown layer right now. Basically, we're making lasagna. And just like a compost pile, it has browns and greens. The browns create your carbon that is necessary, and the greens create the nitrogen. What will start happening now is the worms and the microorganisms will start breaking down this layer of grass and newspaper. It will decompose it. This is the beginning of our lasagna. So now I'm going to add some topsoil, trying not to disturb the paper underneath. Okay, so that topsoil is very inexpensive. You can get it for $1 a bag when it's on sale. So as you can see already, this is a pretty inexpensive way to create a garden without having to pay someone to dig it out or having to dig it out yourself. Now the thing about this one, we're not creating a ton of layers, so we're going to plan on this sitting for 6 months. And in the fall, I have some perennials that I want to divide and plant over here to match the perennials that are on the other side of my friend's house. Now that soil was pretty sterile, so I'm going to add some manure and another bag of really nice soil. This will make the worms happy. And here is another nice organic planting soil. So that's a really nice layer of ground carbon, which will begin the aerobic activity in the soil. Next, I brought with me some of my own compost. It's not finished yet, but that's okay. It will continue working while it's in this spot. This is right from my kitchen. Kitchen scraps, coffee grinds, eggshells, egg cartons, paper towels. And now the other compost. You'll see some clippings here from some of the shrubs I trimmed. The most recommended green layer would be grass clippings, a nice thin layer, but I don't have any right now. And actually, if I took any from this yard, I know it's been treated with chemicals, so I would rather not use it anyway. So we do have some dried up branches, which would constitute our browns. And we have some green stems and blades of different grasses in here. Mixing it all together. Now this is more like a stew, not a lasagna. But it works. I had some finished compost in the top of that wheelbarrow, so I'm spreading that around a little bit too. So we had our brown layer of the soil, our green layer of the grass, another brown layer with the topsoil, and then this mixed layer. It's mostly greens here, but there are some brown dry branches. So if I did not have these ingredients, there are substitutes for the brown ingredients. They would be dried leaves, straw, not hay. Hay has too many seeds in it. Wood chips, sawdust, dead plants, coffee or tea, and any kind of paper products. Newspaper, shredded paper, paper bags, paper towels, napkins, cardboard. And don't worry about the newspapers. They have ink in them, but these days they make the ink with a soy base, which is not toxic to the environment. Now, if you would want to add more greens, you could add food scraps, grass clippings, eggshells, garden weeds, aquatic weeds, and manure. Just make sure that your garden weeds do not have seeds in them, because if the pile does not heat up enough, those weed seeds will grow and you'll have a big mess on your hands in your new bed that you're so excited about. Next, I'm going to add some shredded paper. The worms will chew all this right up. And actually, it's the worm poop that makes beautiful soil. So now we just add some mulch on top. That's our topping. So what did this cost me? About $10 for the topsoil, another $10 for the manure and the other special soil, and about $12 for this mulch. So about $40 to create a brand new sizable bed that will be totally ready in about October. So you'll be amazed when I bring you back to show you how this soil will just crumble in your hands and be so nutritional for most any plant you would put in here. I hope some of you go out and create your own lazy lasagna, easy, no dig garden beds while we're all quarantined. You know, it's just great to get outside and enjoy the fresh air and sunshine. And be resourceful. Use what you have. You know, you do pay for the kitchen scraps because they're from the food, the groceries that you buy, but you would throw them out otherwise, and that would create more garbage at the dump. So you're reusing and recycling at the same time. Okay, there you go. It's pretty much all cleaned up and ready to go. By the way, your new bed should be watered if it doesn't rain out. It needs to get a really good watering at least once a week to keep the activity going in there. Don't push it around or anything until the very end when it's ready. Oh, you know, if you have any logs, you can put those on top and when they get wet, they will help keep some of the moisture in. I just don't happen to have any big logs, but if you do, they help. They won't break down like everything else, but they work like sponges to keep the moisture inside the pile. I just want to mention that this bed is for perennials. If I wanted to make a bed for garden vegetables or fruits, I would not put it on top of treated grass. So, and I would make more layers for that. So it's a good thing to know. Also, if you notice, there's barberry plants in the background there. I did talk to my friend about those. She's going to do something about them. She said she had them here because this is a lower part of the house. And she wanted to keep intruders out with all the stickers on there, but I think maybe some rose bushes would do the same job. Do you have any areas like this in your yard? This is a mulched area around an air conditioner. I haven't done anything with it for a few years. Each year we just put some mulch around it, but the weeds keep coming back and back and back. I'm still not quite ready to plant anything in here, so I don't feel that I want to dig out the weeds. So I have a shortcut method for what we did at my neighbor's house, and this just involves spreading newspaper 3 to 4 sheets thick, wet, and then spreading mulch on top of it. And that will basically hold this area for about 3 months. So I won't have to keep coming back out here pulling weeds. And at the end of that 3 months, I can either plant grass seed here or put some shade-loving plants in. So I will finish. I'll show you when I'm done here. Okay, as you can see, I spread all the newspaper. Now I have some mulch down. I just want to point out that I do not use any plastic coated paper. You might see some colored ink here. That's okay, but no plastic paper allowed. It doesn't break down. It's not organic or natural. Okay, so I'm going to spread the mulch and I'll be back. Okay, I just finished by topping the newspaper off with the mulch, and you want the mulch to be about 2 or 3 inches thick. So the newspaper and the mulch together will suppress the weeds and create new soil. So then you'll have about 3 or 4 months to decide what you'd like to do next with the bed. Oh, I forgot to mention something. Your mulch should be natural wood, never dyed with brown or black colors in it when you're making new beds. Yes, of course, at the end, when your yard is all finished, you can spread some of that pretty dark mulch all around. But for now, you want either hardwood mulch or pine bark mulch or cedar, anything but colored. Right behind me is the little bed we just did with the newspaper and the mulch and the air conditioner. So I want to show you this crepe myrtle. And looking down here at this mulch around the crepe myrtle, what we could do here is the same thing we did back there. Spread newspapers and then mulch, and that will suppress the weeds for a good 3 or 4 months. But if you look closely, do you see what I'm seeing? All these weeds with flower heads on them. I would actually have to pull those out first, because those flowers will just turn into little seeds that will just wait to pop out. I have a great trick to show you for starting seeds in a brand new bed. Now this spot along my wood line here gets a lot of sun, and I've always wanted it to have wildflowers. So this year I'm starting this project. I'm just doing one area. I want a lot of flowers that attract butterflies and birds and hummingbirds and bees here. So I'll show you how to do this really quickly. You'll be surprised. So I just want to show you what I'm working with here. Do you see this ditch that has formed? Over the past year or so, with all the rain, this natural drainage ditch has formed, and it goes all the way back behind me. So sometimes if you can't fight them, you join them. So my plan is to fill this ditch in with some nice river rock, making it a little wider at one point, and behind it, or to the right of it here, this is where I'll have my wildflowers. So today we'll start with one little area, and then work with it as we go throughout the summer. Okay, can you see where this ditch is continuing here? That's my line. So I'm making my bed behind that. And of course, I ran out of newspapers. By the way, I don't order newspapers any longer, so it's one of those things you have to find neighbors or friends or family members who will save them for you. And you know, they do come in handy for gardeners. People love helping gardeners too. So I'm using paper bags. Now one thing, see these flowers, these leaves right here? This is a mayapple. This is a natural wildflower that grows in the woodland areas here. So I'm going to try to save as many of those as possible here. There's a little mayapple here. These are really cute. They get these little dangling fruits on them that look like apples in the summer. Okay, now this time I'm not spreading mulch. I am only spreading topsoil. If I didn't have topsoil, I could use compost or take some soil from another part of the yard. Just try to be resourceful. Okay, we want to spread this out, and we want it to be about 3 inches thick. So it looks like I need another bag. Okay, let me just use my handy dandy digger here and see how deep that is. Okay, it's almost 3 inches. I'm going to give it a little bit more. Let me wet it a little bit. I don't have my hose set up over here yet. Okay, now I want to show you a trick we can do. These are Liatris spicata bulbs, and these are beautiful natural wildflowers, native to the United States. I'm not sure which region, probably Midwest somewhere. They attract butterflies and hummingbirds. So what I'm going to do, the package says to plant them 2 to 4 inches deep. So first I'm going to plant these little bulbs. I'm going to dig down into the newspaper and just find some random spots to plant these bulbs. You know, in nature, nothing is nice and neat. I want it to look natural. 3 there, 1 here, 1 here, 1 next to it, 1 here. Alright, so I'm going to take my little corms or bulbs and I'm just going to drop each one in. Give it a good push down there and cover it up, pack it lightly. Next one. Looks like a double one. That's nice. Way down in there, okay. It's another. Doesn't matter if they're pointing up or down. They'll find their way up. Okay. So, like this trick? I love it. So these plants will grow and bloom this summer. Beautiful purpley pink flowers. And then I'm saving some to put in containers. You know, this year I think we will all be on a tight budget because of the COVID-19 coronavirus. So usually I go out and buy annuals and other plants for my planters. This year I am going to use more seeds and bulbs and transplants from what I have already. You might want to do that too. Okay, here's a little seed packet I got last year. This is for monarch butterflies. I think I'll take my gloves off. Oh, this is milkweed. So these are tiny little seeds. I'm going to spread a couple right, a couple over there, 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 here, a couple there. There weren't very many in that packet. It's okay. And this is a mix for bees, bee flower mix. Now I have other seeds that I can also plant, but it's not time for them yet. So I'll just be spreading these for now. Now if this was a bigger area, I would take my rake and just go over it. Just rake it lightly, but this is fine. Just get those seeds in there. pack it down. So it's a little bed, but that might be what you want to do at your house. Sometimes I plant little beds, sometimes bigger. I do want this one to grow over time, but for now, this is a great start, and I think you got the idea. So you learned 3 different ways to make beds for new plantings without digging. I didn't dig one thing except for with this little tool. And the only weeds I pulled are the ones by that crepe myrtle over there. So there you go. I hope you learned a few great tips to use in your own yards this year. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all those great things. I really appreciate it. I'm having fun doing this.